I've been teaching the meditative arts for over 30 years, and one of the biggest challenges that I face as a teacher is getting people to understand what it takes to make meditation part of their life. And I've seen so many people who have changed their life through the practice, and so many people who have started and let it teeter away and never really benefit from the practice. And so my biggest challenge has been, how do I get people to really truly see the benefits of the practice so they make it part of their lifestyle and really reap all of the fruits that come from this practice? And what I've found is that when somebody new comes to the practice, or maybe somebody who's tried the practice before but's never really made it become part of their lifestyle, that there's three considerations that I think anybody should spend a little bit of time with in order to increase their chances from really benefiting from a meditation practice and seeing why there's so many great things that come from it. So I'd like to take a minute and talk to you about what those three considerations are. The first consideration is, why are you being drawn to the practice? Are you looking to improve your health so you can stay mobile and healthier into your later years so you can watch your grandkids grow up? Or are you somebody dealing with a stress disorder and you want to be more comfortable and not have to worry about having panic attacks or anxiety? Or maybe you're an athlete or a performer and you're looking to improve your performance on the field. Whatever that is for you, think about why that's important to you. And then once you have that good reason or that strong why, I like to take it a step further in that if you accomplish that goal and you reach that level of stability and that mental presence, that physical awareness, that physical health, whatever that is for you, what are 10, maybe 20 things in your life that are going to positively change because you accomplish that goal? And really invest some heartfelt time there and think about what that really means to you to have those changes in your life. Then, after you do that, I'd like you to flip the coin and think a little bit on, if you don't accomplish that goal, what are 10 or 20 negative things that are going to happen to you by not accomplishing that goal? And if you really spend some time going through and considering all of these possibilities and how they are going to affect you, this is something that will give you the fuel on those days when you don't really feel like getting up to go practice. You know, your alarm goes off and you're like, I'll hit the snooze button, I'll just practice tomorrow. Well, I want you to have that desire to be like, I get up and go practice, not thinking of it like it's a chore. And when you make that mental shift and you see all of the true benefits from a practice like this, and you start looking at it like, this is something I get to do. I'm so lucky to have this practice in my life. I can't wait to go do my training session today. That's where you're really going to see the biggest changes. And for me, I haven't missed a daily ritual practice since I had my hip surgery over 5 years ago. It's just part of who I am, and I see so many benefits from this practice. I'm never going to stop doing it. It's just part of who I am, and I want that for you guys. The second consideration, and this is very important as well, is understanding the importance of consistency. And there's this old Chinese story that illustrates this idea very well. And if you bear with me for a minute, I'll take you through that. It's the story of this old stonecutter. And he's very well known all over China because he creates these beautiful sculptures of animals and landscapes. And his work is so detailed and so profound that anytime somebody sees it, they know it's his. I mean, it's just that much better than everybody else's. Because he's so well known, People will come from all around to study with him and apprentice with him to learn the trade. Well, every day this stonecutter starts off his day by walking down to the river and meditating. One day after his meditation session, he's walking along the river and he has this profound vision of this big 6 foot tall Chinese mystical dragon. He's so taken by this vision that he knows that this has to be his next project. So he travels around for the next 3 months all over China looking for this big, perfect piece of jade that he's going to use for his next creation. Finally, when he finds the perfect stone, he brings it back to his place and he spends the next few days just sitting with the stone and studying it and trying to feel the energy from the stone and envision how this dragon was going to soon appear. Finally, when he decides to start working on the dragon, he carefully places his chisel on one specific place on the stone and starts tapping away with his hammer. Hundreds, if not thousands of times, over and over, he's tapping away on the stone. A few days go by, nothing changes. A few more days go by, and his apprentices started second guessing him, wondering, maybe he should try something else. This doesn't seem to be working. A few more days go by, and finally he taps the chisel, and this big 3 foot section of the rock comes apart on the backside of the rock. It creates this slightly curved, smooth line. And one of his apprentices, who was watching, said, "How did you know that that strike was going to break the stone?" And the stonecutter said, "It wasn't that strike that broke the stone. It was the thousands of strikes before it that broke the stone." And with a bit of a discouraged tone in his voice, the apprentice said, "But I've been watching you, and there was no change, not even a crack in the stone. Why didn't you try something different? Why did you keep doing the same thing over and over again?" And the stonecutter got down on one knee and he felt the smooth line that he just created. And he said, "Each strike was not wasted. The stone was changing beneath the surface. And even though we could not see it with the naked eye, not only was the stone changing, but so was the one who wields the hammer." And the reason why I resonate so well with this story is that it's so closely related to the meditative arts, and that we're practicing these sitting meditation, these movement practices, studying these philosophical concepts, and we don't always see the change day to day. But through consistency and effort and putting our energy and focus on this, we lay the foundation and build this momentum to where we create these fruits that last for the rest of our lives. And so understanding that a practice like this takes that consistency and that effort is very important to understand right from the beginning. And then the third and final consideration is you have to have a guide. You have to have somebody that's pointing you in the right direction, teaching you why we do certain practices and how to incorporate those into your life. And you're already taking the first step with that by investing in this program. I've seen through the years people try to be self-taught in this practice, and they'll spend 10, 15 years sometimes looking at videos on YouTube and maybe listening to this app or that app. And oftentimes they'll waste years of time and energy never getting below the surface with this practice because they don't have any direction. They don't have somebody helping point them down the path that they need to follow to accomplish whatever they're trying to do with the practice. For you, I commend you for taking that first step there. Now, make sure that we're approaching it with the right mindset. We're spending some time thinking about why we're being drawn to the practice and how that's going to change our lives, and really letting that sink in so we start to become passionate about the practice. The second is understanding the idea of consistency and why that's so important. And then following the advice of somebody that's going to help save you years on your practice and get to a deeper level of training. with these three things, you're off to a good start with the practice. I hope that helps, and I look forward to seeing you in the training. Thank you.